Stop wasting your money on these 10 wardrobe basics. I've tried a range of clothing from your more affordable to your luxury, and there are some items of clothing where I truly cannot tell the difference between the more affordable and the more expensive. If you've been on my channel before, you know that I'm all about finding high quality pieces that will last. But since our budget is not endless, it's so important to know what to look for so we can spend where we need to and save where we can. In my wardrobe, I've learned that the most simple pieces often become invisible in an outfit once styled. So these are the pieces where I always regret it when I overspend. I'll rather put the money to everyday pieces that have more design details, are more your elevated basics, rather than these simple layering items, but we'll talk more about that throughout today's video. Today's video includes a partnership with jewellery, and I've been wearing some of their pieces for 5, 6, maybe 7+ years. I've been doing a slightly different year stack, and I can't wait to share with you some of my favorite earrings from them later in today's video. The first type of item where you should save your money and not overspend are cotton t-shirts and cotton tank tops. These are pieces where I've tried some more affordable versions, and I've also tried a lot of the very expensive ones. So I tried this Lemaire t-shirt. It retails for a lot, and I honestly could not tell you the difference between that and something from Uniqlo. So in this category, what I'm really saying is not that you should disregard quality altogether, but I've also been able to find them at Uniqlo, and a lot of these t-shirts I wear on constant rotation and they've lasted for years. So I really can't see the reason why I would spend hundreds when I'm so happy with my affordable alternatives. The thing about t-shirts in my wardrobe is that they're usually a layering piece. They're styled in a way that they're almost invisible and they're never the focal point of my look. So if that's the case for you, then I would especially not recommend splurging on them, because these ones from Reformation, these ones from Cezanne, I don't think have really that much difference to the ones I love from Uniqlo. The things I look for in a quality t-shirt is that the material is not too thin. I do like your slouchy tee, but it can't be too thin where I feel like it's gonna wear out really quickly. I'm always looking at the neckline. I like a t-shirt that feels a little bit more reinforced around the neckline and doesn't look like it's gonna lose its shape quickly. So something slightly thicker is ideal here. The fit is probably what's going to make the biggest difference. I really like baby tees, I like crop tees. I don't like anything too long and oversized, and these are the things that are ultimately going to decide whether something gets worn a lot or gets a little bit pushed to the back. My very top places I recommend looking at for t-shirts are Uniqlo, Muji, and Glassons. So with Uniqlo, my favorite t-shirts are their mini t-shirts. I think the style is so flattering, it comes at the perfect length. I think the fabric is really soft, it's got a decent amount of thickness, and the neckline holds its shape, comes in a good range of color too. I also love these ribbed t-shirts from Uniqlo. They're from last year. These go in the wash every single week and they look brand new. Uniqlo U t-shirts are really great if you're looking for a heavyweight t-shirt. These are very, very soft. They're heavyweight and they will last for forever. If you're looking for t-shirts made from different fabrics, so for example, a linen or a hemp or something natural but not cotton, I really love Muji. Check out your Muji store. They have t-shirts made from these materials, and I've got a black one. It's not very exciting to look at, but I've had that for 4 or 5 years, maybe 3, 4 years. It's gone through the wash a lot and it's holding up extremely well. I also really like the Australian retailer Glassons. So if you're based in Australia or New Zealand, Glasson t-shirts and tank tops are really good. I've been shopping from them since I was 14, so for the last 14 years. They are simple, you know, they're not mind-blowing or very special, but they're cotton pieces that just last well, and that's all I'm looking for. When it comes to an elevated t-shirt, this is where I'm happy to spend a little bit more. If a t-shirt has the right design details, usually I can wear it for work or to dinner because it just feels a bit more elevated. I can use it to dress up a casual look. It makes my wardrobe feel that much more special, and these elevated t-shirts I'm usually willing to spend more on. Let's take a moment here, and I want to share with you some of my favorite hoop earrings from jewellery and how I've been stacking it right now. Similar to my clothing, when it comes to jewellery and even earrings, I'm always looking for pieces that are versatile enough to wear every single day, but they're also special enough to really elevate an outfit. I'm gonna keep the earrings on, but I'm gonna talk you through them from the biggest hoop to the cuff. All these earrings are 14 karat solid gold, and all the little stones are diamonds. The biggest hoop I've got on in my first piercing is their pave diamond hoop, and I love the texture of this one where you've got the a smooth gold, but you've also got the little pave diamonds to really catch the light. Because we've got these little diamonds so close to the face, I really feel like it does brighten and just make me feel more elevated no matter what I'm wearing. Right next to it, I've got my pleated U hoop. So this one feels quite unique because of this U shape, but on top of that, it's got this cool pleated texture. These are also 14 karat solid gold, so I really don't have to think about them or worry about them, and they add a really nice texture to this stack. On my left, I have an extra piercing, and I love that with this little stud earring, it has a dangle coming out of it, and it creates a nice movement to the stack. I've been thinking about another kind of helix piercing, but I've been a little bit indecisive. So for now, I've gone for a little diamond cuff. This has been so nice just to move my stack upwards a little bit and add on the look of another earring. Once I have it on, I usually tighten it a little bit and it does feel fairly secure. I've been wearing it over the last week and a half and I haven't really noticed any movement during the day. I'll link to all of the hoops I'm wearing as well as the rest of my jewelry pieces down below. So if you're looking for a new pair of hoops or you just want to do a little research, have a look around, do go check out my links down below, and you do also get 10% off on your order. Thank you to my jewelry for working with me, and let's get back into the video. Another category I wouldn't recommend overspending or splurging on are cargo pants, cargo skirts, or just your straight leg cotton trousers. So with cotton bottoms, the reason I don't recommend splurging on them is that I really have not been able to see the difference that more expensive options offer. I'm thinking about pieces like my cargo skirt from Reformation and these Philippa K wide leg trousers I used to have, and honestly, I actually prefer my Uniqlo cotton pants and cargo trousers more. If I'm taking a look at the options out there, I want to show you these affordable cargo pants. With the brown one, it is affordable, but I don't like it because I think it leans too trendy. The rise, you can see the zip area, it's so tiny, and to me that looks a little bit cheap. Instead, this one is also like a similar price point. These are both from H&M. I just did a quick screenshot. These ones look a lot more luxe because they're more classic. The details feel more expensive looking, and this is something that looks really good for the price. I would probably still prefer my Uniqlo because for me they're tried and tested, so I feel more confident to recommend them. If I was willing to pay a bit more, I would go to Everlane. They have a wider selection of color. I think that they're also just a very trustworthy brand when it comes to quality. I like their cotton material and their fits, but I would go here if I was searching for something I couldn't find at Uniqlo. And then as we get into the really expensive, for example, your A Piece Apart, this is a brand where I love the way their trousers look, but I have also tried these on, and to be honest, I don't know if I really feel the difference, or if I feel the difference is justified by the difference in price. I will pay good money for a beautiful pair of wool trousers because they last such a long time, and I really feel the difference between more affordable and expensive. The same goes with things that have very good drape. When it just falls over the body in such a perfect way, then to me it's worth spending a bit more. Something that is not worth it to me and is potentially a bit of a waste of money are extremely understated designs that cost extremely high amounts. I'm talking about minimalist pieces where they do focus on quality, but sometimes the price is just insanely high. And what I really think here is that when I'm buying a handbag or a sweater, I want it to be good quality and durable and comfortable, but I don't need it to be world-class quality and like the very best of the best and really have that exclusive feeling. I think we're able to find quality pieces for not quite these extreme price points. I'm especially thinking about the Row, but even your mid-range luxury price points like APC, sometimes they'll put out a bag that, in my opinion, is just a little bit boring and too simple. And I really wouldn't get those bags even at that mid-range luxury. It's sometimes a black tote bag with nothing special about it. So I feel like I would just get those simple pieces somewhere else. I cannot stress this enough, but I don't have ultra minimal style. But I think even if I did, I would definitely be paying attention to minimal designs that still feel intentional. There is a difference between minimal and I think just kind of boring, and sometimes I think brands cross that line into just like too basic and the price point is too high. If I'm looking to spend a bit more on something, I'm looking for pieces that are versatile enough to wear every day, but are special enough to really feel like they're worth their money. I'm personally not scared of color, so I actually love pop of color bags because They work with most of my everyday neutral outfits, but they feel special. Otherwise, I'll do a bag that has cool structure, cool shape, maybe a cool buckle design that really sets it apart from the more affordable alternatives and is really going to give all of your outfits that more luxurious feel. I hope I'm expressing myself correctly here because I love brands that are more simple and focus on quality. I'm really talking about brands that have gone beyond that and they're ultra minimal and ultra expensive. I think it's just a different kind of branding aimed at being very exclusive because there's nothing worth it to me in the design or quality. There are always exceptions to the rule, however, designer denim jackets have always felt like a little bit of a waste of money in my wardrobe. I have this gold denim jacket. I actually recently decluttered it because I wasn't really wearing it, but this is a more premium jacket and I truly can't tell the difference between this one and some of my more affordable alternatives. So the reasons why I feel like a denim jacket is usually not worth it is because a denim jacket by nature is a more casual piece. So it leans oversized, it leans boxy, and the fit is not that big a concern for me. Yes, I want it to be more cropped and I don't want it too oversized, but that's pretty easy to search for. It's not very particular, and if you try on a few jackets, chances are you'll find one that fits you well. The other thing is that it's so casual and I think it looks better distressed. There is something about a worn-in denim jacket that feels really good, whereas like a perfect, beautiful quality, thick, nice denim actually doesn't appeal to me that much. So if you have something a little bit more affordable and it starts to wear out a bit, it's really not a problem for a denim jacket and it doesn't affect its use at all. So that is kind of why I don't really see the point of an expensive denim jacket, and I don't think I will ever really get a classic denim jacket again from a nicer brand. What are the exceptions? The exceptions could be that if it was tailored, if it was just like an extremely unique style, I could consider it, but I would say save your money for this category. By the way, I would put this money to a more tailored jacket, to a wool jacket, to a wool coat, to anything that is a little bit more formal and structured as opposed to this casual, effortless style. Sometimes I'll show a cotton sweater and someone will ask me, what do you think about it? Is it good quality? And I really have to think long and hard about this question because I don't really know what I'm looking for. Cotton by nature in a sweater is a little bit more structured. It's usually not scratchy, but it can be a bit stiff. And most cotton sweaters are kind of like this. Some lean a little bit softer, some lean a little bit more stiff, but that's pretty much it. So with cotton sweaters, unless it's like really chunky, really stiff, really uncomfortable, I would say most of them are pretty good. And I usually don't recommend overspending on a simple cotton basic sweater. The exception for me is always good design, like my Leontine knit. I love the design so much, but I'm paying for the design, not for the cotton sweater. Whereas for these cotton basic sweaters in like a block color, these are things where I would be searching for something that came at a really good price point, and I don't think it's worth it to spend too much more on these pieces. Cotton sweaters, they also don't peel, so I don't have to worry too much about the quality of cotton. Most of the time, it's good enough. With the money saved here, I really want to mention that something absolutely worth the money is wool knitwear. If there's anything in a wardrobe that's worth it, for me it's wool knitwear. Because if you find something poor quality, it really doesn't last. The material thins out so quickly, the pilling becomes uncontrollable sometimes. It's not as warm as you want it to be, so it's not as functional. Other times, it just doesn't hold on to its shape as well as I want it to, and wool knitwear is absolutely worth the money. It's also worth hand washing and really taking care of it once you have it. Something that I would never splurge on in my wardrobe, especially since a lot of you are going into spring summer now, are sandals or thin-soled shoes. In this category, I'm not talking about loafers, I'm not even talking about these Carol Mary Janes. They've actually got a decent amount of substance to them. I'm talking about shoes that are just very dainty by nature. So very thin soles, almost look like slippers, or they're like very thin sole sandals, maybe with just some straps to hold it together. I just feel like ultimately these are shoes that I try not to buy too many of because they don't hold up to my lifestyle demands and the kind of walking I do. And most of the time they wear out a little bit quicker than what I want them to. So sometimes it's not about the quality of shoe, it's just about the nature of the style. I have these Aquazura shoes made from a suede, and you know what, they're nice quality. I don't know what more I want from them, but I wore them out one day. I was with my friend and she accidentally stepped on me and the strap snapped. And obviously you can see that anything can happen to these shoes and they're quite dainty. Whereas with boots, this will never happen and they're a lot more durable. So I try not to overspend in this category anymore and really try to hold myself back even when I see a cute design. Obviously, I'll be getting these shoes repaired. I'm not just gonna like, throw them out. But generally with thin-sole shoes, with sandals, I wouldn't overspend because it does hurt when they break, and they do break fairly easily. This one might be surprising, but might not be either. I have tried a lot of wide leg pants over the last 2 years. I've tried tons of styles from Uniqlo, from like End of a Stories, and then going to your Philippa K, Toteme, and more high-end brands. What I found here is that getting your pants tailored to fit and choosing a leg shape that is exactly what you want is going to make the biggest difference over price point. And I truly find with my pants, some of the ones where I purchased them a bit too big online, and I've gotten the waist taken in, I've gotten the length adjusted, they end up being pants that are just so versatile in my wardrobe, and they look the very best in my collection. Whereas I have some pants from Toteme, and I like the fabric, but I feel like the leg shape and the waist and the style is not 100% suited to me. So even though they're good quality, I'm not sure if they were ultimately worth it. Fabric of course makes a difference, but I really love these Uniqlo wide leg trousers, and I haven't had an issue even though it is synthetic. And then with my End of a Stories and Outnet trousers, sometimes I can find them in 100% wool or at least 50% wool, and these have all held up really well for me in the past. If something is like a cotton viscose blend, I usually really love these styles because they're very easy to care for, and it has a drape of viscose but the breathability of cotton. I found it very easy to find natural fiber trousers from Outnet End of Stories, and these have all turned out really well, and I like them so much more than some of the ones from designer brands. I'm also not trying to say that the designer is not worth it. Usually the fabric is a bit better, but I just put the emphasis on the fit above anything else for a wide leg trouser. One of my most worn all-time absolute favorite pieces are midi skirts, and it might surprise you to know that I genuinely don't see much of a difference between high-end and low-end, and the biggest difference is just that I like the print of the skirt. So again, this is tried and tested in my wardrobe. I've tried skirts from Rixo, I've tried skirts from Ganni, I've had some Tibi skirts, but truthfully, when it comes to a cotton, viscose, or linen skirt, I pretty much put all the focus on finding a print and style I like over anything else. And with silk skirts, I can notice the difference very quickly between cheap and expensive. The weight of silk is different, and then the drape is different. Whereas with cotton, viscose, and linen, the difference is a lot smaller, and ultimately, I haven't been able to see huge differences between something like the Rixo and something like my End of a Stories. So the way that I shop for a skirt like this is that firstly, I need to really like the fit and the pattern of the skirt. That's probably number one for me. And then the next thing I look at is the inside. So one thing that's really important to me is that the waistband of the skirt fits and lays really nicely. I showed in a recent video where some skirts, they don't have the waistband sewn down, and it always looks a little bit lumpy on the waist. I don't want this. This is something I always actively look at to make sure it's a very clean, flat, neat waistband. I actually prefer my skirts to not have a lining, but my pet peeve is when a skirt is made from linen or cotton and then they line it with polyester. I hate that, and it's a deal breaker. I also don't like sheer skirts that are half lined. I think it looks a little bit clunky, so I try to avoid that. If a skirt is able to meet these criteria, then I'm pretty much good, and as long as I like the design, it will get tons of wear in my wardrobe. The final wardrobe essentials that I wouldn't overspend on, or spend on at all in this case, are neutral basics that just don't suit me. The thing for me here is that if I don't love it and it doesn't look good, it's immediately on my no list, no matter how much I love the piece or the style. For me, the color that really doesn't work for me is a beigey tone that is very close to my skin color. Sometimes it has like a little bit of a cool pink dustiness to it. It looks absolutely dreadful, and this is a color that is quite popular but I truly avoid. We will all have a color that just does not do it for us, and I would say put this on your don't list and basically try to avoid this color at all costs. I want to stress here that I'm not just talking about colors that we don't look good in. If we don't look good in a color but we love it, there are always ways to make it work. I'm talking about colors where I don't look good in it and I don't like it. And these are really redundant things to have in my wardrobe. The temptation comes when it's in a style that I love, but the color's wrong. And I've learned that the color is such a big deal that it's never worth it to buy those things. These wardrobe essentials in bad colors are literally money down the drain, no matter how classic someone tells me they are, because ultimately they won't get worn. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you found it helpful. If there was anything that caught your eye from a jewelry, I do have all the pieces linked down below if you'd like to go check it out. I hope you're having a lovely week so far, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.